Welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty intense that unfolded at the Bahadrabad Toll Plaza. We saw reports about a farmers' protest focused on things like smart meters that just, well, it escalated very quickly.
Yeah, it turned into a police Lathicharge, and the numbers we're seeing suggest dozens of injuries.
Exactly. And this isn't just a local story, is it? It feels like a real case study, in that difficult line between peaceful protest and confrontation.
That's right.
So our mission today is to unpack what happened, cut through the noise a bit, figure out the sequence of events, the why behind it, and what the immediate fallout looks like based on the accounts we've got. And we really want you listening to think about how fast these situations can turn, how that line between protest, policing, it can get very blurry very quickly.
It really can.
I mean, that first detail you see in the reports, police Lathicharge leaves 30 farmers injured, that just hits you. It sets a very serious tone.
It absolutely does. And it immediately raises questions about de-escalation or the lack of it.
Right. That moment, communication breaks down.
Precisely. It puts that tension between the right to protest and the state needing to maintain order right under the microscope.
Okay, so let's set the stage a bit. Our sources say it was the Bharatiya Kisan Union, the T-Kate group, so a known farmers union.
Yes, a significant one.
They gathered at the Bahadrabad Toll Plaza. Clearly planned, not just a spontaneous thing.
And the core issue, the main grievance mentioned, was opposition to smart meters. There were other demands too, but the smart meters seemed central.
Why smart meters typically? What's the concern there usually?
Well, often farmers worry about accuracy, potentially higher bills, maybe even feels about data usage or control over resources like electricity and water. It hits their livelihoods directly.
Right, I see. So it's fundamental stuff for them.
Definitely. It explains the motivation, why they felt the need to make a strong statement.
You can sort of picture it, can't you? Farmers arriving, maybe with tractors, ready to voice these really core concerns. It's a scene we see happen, people gathering to talk to power. Hashtag 2. The intended march and the police barricade. So they gathered. What was the plan then? What did they intend to do next?
Their stated plan, according to the reports, was actually quite standard for this kind of thing. A peaceful march.
Okay, where to?
Towards the Dehradun Energy Building. The idea was to submit a memorandum, a formal list of their grievances.
Standard operating procedure for a protest, really. Formalizing the complaint.
Exactly. But that's where the first conflict point seems to have occurred. The accounts clearly state the police administration stopped them right there at the toll plaza.
So they couldn't even start the march.
Apparently not. They were blocked before they could proceed towards Dehradun. The sources don't detail the police's reasoning for the block, but that was the action taken.
And that's the first point of direct, opposition between the two sides.
Yes.
Yeah.
That seems to be the initial friction.
Okay, so they're stopped, blocked. What happens next? Things seem to have gone downhill very fast.
Extremely fast, based on the descriptions. Our sources use a phrase, "Kaha sunibadne par halat bigad gaye."
Which means?
Essentially, arguments flared up, got heated between the farmers and the police, and the situation deteriorated significantly, became unstable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just arguments escalating like that. What typically triggers such a rapid shift from, say, a tense standoff to actual force?
It can be so many things. Miscommunication, perhaps a perceived disrespect or provocation from either side, maybe frustration boiling over because the initial plan was thwarted. A lack of clear de-escalation channels is often key.
Yep.
And the reports state that following these arguments, the police response was a Lathicharge, using batons to disperse the crowd.
And it wasn't just directed at those maybe actively arguing.
That's a crucial detail. Eyewitness accounts specifically mention that farmers who were just sitting in their tractor trolleys or other vehicles were also hit during the Lathicharge.
Oh, wow. That suggests a pretty indiscriminate use of force there.
Well, it certainly points towards a broad application, yes. Not necessarily targeted only at individuals directly involved in the arguments.
And the result? 25 to 30 farmers seriously injured, needing ambulances, hospital treatment.
Yes. That number itself tells you about the intensity. It wasn't a minor scuffle. This was significant force resulting in serious injuries.
It really underscores the human cost when things break down like that.
Absolutely.
We also have direct words from the farmer leaders in these accounts. Vijay Shastri, the BKU district president for Haridwar, sounds utterly shocked. He said, "We never thought our own police would Lathicharge us like this."
That sense of betrayal comes through strongly.
He emphasizes they just wanted to peacefully convey their voice, and claims it was after just a minor argument that the police, as he put it, brutally started wielding sticks.
And then there's another voice, Sanjay Chaudhary, the Garhwal Division president. He made an allegation too.
What's that?
He claimed they, the farmers or union members, had to arrange ambulances themselves for the injured. If that's accurate, it paints a pretty stark picture of the immediate aftermath. A sense of abandonment, perhaps.
Right. Lack of official support right after the incident.
But beyond the immediate shock and accusations, Chaudhary also made a very strong statement about their resolve. He said, and this is quite striking, if the government thinks we will back down in fear, that is its misconception. Farmers are ready for a decisive battle.
Ready for a decisive battle. That's powerful language. That's not just about this one incident anymore, is it?
No, it signals a hardening of stance, a declaration of intent for a longer struggle, potentially. It moves beyond just reacting to the Lathicharge.
You really get that feeling from the ground. Shock, anger, but also this determination not to be intimidated. Hashtag 5.
Yeah.
Aftermath and future outlook.
Exactly.
So after the charge, after the injuries, what was the immediate situation like at the toll plaza?
Well, the reports confirm what you'd expect in such a situation. A heavy police presence remained, and senior officials were deployed to the scene. Clearly, the authorities were taking it very seriously.
Trying to maintain control, presumably.
Yes, and likely assessing the situation, but the farmers also issued a clear ultimatum, essentially.
Which was?
It boiled down to either the government reconsiders the smart meters, or it will face continued, maybe even intensified, farmer outrage.
So a direct challenge.
A very direct challenge. And significantly, our sources suggest this isn't being viewed as just an isolated event that's now over.
How so?
It's being framed as potentially the beginning of a new phase of the farmer movement in Haridwar district.
A new phase, meaning wider mobilization.
That seems to be the implication. Reports mention that a large number of farmers started gathering at the toll plaza from other areas after this incident.
Okay, so the Lathicharge, instead of dispersing them, might have actually galvanized broader support.
It certainly looks that way from these accounts. It shows how a single, intense confrontation can sometimes act as a catalyst, drawing more people into the movement rather than shutting it down.
It really illustrates how local grievances, when met with force, can spark something much bigger. Hashtag tag outro.
Indeed.
So, wrapping up this deep dive on Bahadrabad, it really lays bare that fragile line between dissent and disruption, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
We started with a planned, peaceful protest over specific issues, like smart meters. The aim was dialogue, submitting a memorandum. And it escalated through arguments, a police blockade, into serious violence. Farmers injured, accusations flying, and then this declaration of being ready for a decisive battle.
It's a stark reminder of how quickly things can escalate and how communication breakdown, or maybe the tactics used, can fundamentally alter the dynamic.
That moment of confrontation, the Lathicharge, it seems to have really shifted things, redefined the mood, perhaps the entire movement there.
It definitely seems to have hardened resolve and potentially broadened the conflict, yes.
Yeah.
It fundamentally impacts the trust between the citizens protesting and the authorities.
So as you, our listener, think about this incident, maybe consider this. When an event like this happens, when there's this kind of clash and perceived breach of trust, what are the ripples? What are the longer-term consequences, not just for the farmers and their movement, but for how governing bodies respond and how civic engagement itself might change shape moving forward?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? How does this echo?